This is going to be such a hard and uncomfortable video for me to record. So I hope that you bear with me, and yeah, I'm gonna have to pause this probably a lot. Recently, our coven hosted a lovely sacred flame Esbat, and it was exactly what I needed, with the elemental aspect of fire being all about creation and destruction and purification, among other things as well. But I really needed it, and I feel as though, of course, the second I go to record, people start lighting fireworks in the middle of the day. Why? Why? And now there's sirens, which I live near a firehouse in my area, so, but still, kind of weird. I really needed that charging by fire and that purification and that power that comes from a witch's ritual to really imbue me, to put on my heart some things I need to get off my chest that regard a previous video of mine. I'm sure that many of you are aware, but some of you might not be, that not only am I a practicing witch, not only am I a high priestess with an SCC and an initiate of ATW, but I also am a living vampire. And I have been in the vampiric community for almost a decade now. I have been in the past involved with a local vampiric court known as the Meridian Court here locally. And I'm bringing that up just to kind of share some of my own perspective about some of the things that are going on in the wider vampiric community, if you will, regarding a very particular father of American vampires. In this video, I am not going to name names specifically because I think that you are all cunning enough to figure it out. This is going to be regarding and also things of that manner. It's a difficult topic to talk about. There have been some really amazing women who have come out recently and have spoken about some of the abuse that has been taking place for years within this particular vampiric court. And in a way, it helps me to be able to talk about it as well. I've always thought of myself as a strong woman. I've never thought of myself as, but in a way it just helps seeing other women come out and other women talk about some of the experiences that they have had within this particular empire. And not all empires always rise, but they always all fall. And that's an important distinction to make. And what we are witnessing right now in a bird's eye view in the vampiric world is a fall of an empire that has been built off the backs of women and unpaid labor, exploitation, and abuse. My personal journey with my vampiric path started well before I was remotely involved in the particular court sanctum that is in my local area. And even my local area's outer court sanctum, I've only been exposed to so much. And that's also part of why I've kind of bit my tongue and not really spoken about certain things. One, because I've really only been in the outer sanctum. I've never really been in the inner sanctum. And I've also been, in a way, involved through sort of like a third party regarding the specific Meridian Club that I've been referencing, which has ties to other courts, but is not necessarily directly involved with the head court of the Vale. But the influence and the power of said Vale definitely is involved. And I have seen the ramifications of that both personally myself as an outer sanctum initiate, but also through people I love and care about. To be honest, part of the reason why I have been a little bit more hush about some of this is because of the friction that exists between witches and living vampires. I am very involved in the ATW, American Traditional Witchcraft, sort of like trad community. And there is a lot of rhetoric in general in the witching world, not just ATW, about sort of discriminatory views when it comes to vampires, shame about sanguine arts, shame about vampirism, and whole communities in the witching world built around exposing vampires, warding against vampires, and working actively, magically, as a solitary or in groups against vampires. And on the flip side, a lot of vampiric courts, including the one that I was a part of, also hold some discriminatory views about witches as well. So it does kind of go both ways, but I would say that most of the vitriol I see coming actually from the witches side than I do the vampiric side, because a lot of the vampires see themselves so much above witches. Even though a lot of them are also witches. I think moving forward in the future, I'm probably going to be talking about this more. This is something that I'm still processing and honestly have been with a therapist talking about for over a year now. And it's been sort of like a back and forth personal journey. It's also why you haven't seen me making any real like vampiric content in the last few years, because I really felt disenchanted with the particular court that I was involved in. And especially now that I'm seeing some of these things taking place on a public scale, that some of it was seen as kind of more hearsay or rumors before. It's really confirmed at this point, and it's something that I personally no longer plan to be a part of. Now, that's not to say that I'm stepping away from the wider vampiric scene or that I'm not claiming that anymore, because I feel that being a vampire is such a fundamental part of who I am. It's a huge aspect of my personal identity and my spirituality, and I refuse to let anyone take my fangs away from me. But I did want to just kind of make this video to make it public that I am disavowing myself from particular oaths and particular alignments with the various court that I have mentioned and their affiliations, because no longer do I wish to be subservient and obedient and a part of all of that has been going on. I think that by being silent, I am in fact making room for more victims to be abused. And that's not something that I want to have on my heart any longer. I know that I've been a little bit vague in this video, and that is intentional because I have had personal threats regarding my own safety and reasons why I have needed to sort of keep forth power about some things. So just know that I am working through some of that, and through communication with other women that have come forward, I am very much finding my own personal voice again about some of these matters and figuring out what can be done physically, digitally, and astrally in a way that best serves the healing of myself and others in this situation.